Hey gang, it's Def, and today I want to talk about why I don't play modern day MMOs and why I'm always hyping Pantheon Rise of the Fallen.
Pantheon Rise of the Fallen.
That was a little overkill. Yeah, let's do it. So today I want to take a trip from the past year, maybe year and a half, of me trying out several MMOs. Each time the same thing occurs, and I'll explain. So I'm gonna do some name dropping in this video, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and just say it. Everything is so cookie cutter. You know what I mean? Everything is a damn WoW clone with the reskin. Let's go on a journey of the last year and a half of MMOs that I've been playing with some of the Battle Axe guys. And then if you stay to the end, I'm going to hammer the point home of why we're excited for Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. And why all these other people are as well. You see all these old school gamers coming back into the scene because it is just... It's what we need. More than what we need, it's what we want, right? Give me a game with some adventure and not knowing what the hell this thing is over here. What the hell is that? And then the perception system. Let's go down the trip of the last year and a half. Wow, World of Warcraft. We played Legion, okay? And Legion was actually a lot of fun. We did not try Battle for Azeroth, and I personally didn't go back into Battle for Azeroth because of all the reviews I was seeing, and I wanted to wait for the game to launch, and boy did it seem to disappoint a lot of people. Everybody from Battle Axe, we all met through World of Warcraft, and I wasn't going to start with WoW, but I think it is kind of important because that's where, I mean, when WoW came out, it was the EQ killer. It was the Final Fantasy XI killer. You know what I mean? So in WoW, what do? You get to, if you've been playing for a minute, you get to level 15 so you can run random dungeons to race to max level. Once you run these dungeons to get to max level, then you can run normal dungeons at max level. And then once you run these normal dungeons, then you can get into heroic dungeons, and then you run those heroic dungeons. Once you run those heroic dungeons, then you can get into mythic dungeons, if that's still a thing in Battle for Azeroth. Once you run those mythic dungeons, then you can get into some LFR, so I'm looking for raid. Then once you run looking for raid, you can run normal raids, and then when you start running normal raids, you can start running heroic raids, and then once you run those heroic raids, you can start running mythic raids. Now, I have to give credit where credit is due. If it wasn't for World of Warcraft, that wouldn't exist. I wouldn't have met a lot of cool people. There's a lot of good friends of mine that are still playing WoW, right? I guess if I can narrow it down with WoW is in my opinion, it seems like WoW is more of an arcade game than it is an MMO, you know? There's not as much as adventuring, because when you're leveling up, especially in the expansions, it's just tackling those quests down as fast as you can. You know what I mean? And it goes back to the DPS meters. Mash buttons as fast as we can so we can have big deeps, you know? And that's fine because you can challenge your other members of your raid, your party, whatever. And I get it, I really do. But at the same time, there's no sense of exploring and working and grinding. That's where I'm going to end WoW, and let's get to the next one. When we quit Legion, we switched over to Elder Scrolls Online. And I was kind of the reason for that because I didn't really have time to raid much, and I just checked it out. And it was really close to my EverQuest experience as far as questing and adventuring and not knowing anything, and just all the customization and the combat system was really cool to me. But we discovered that the endgame isn't even worth it. In fact, the endgame may be worth it more in WoW than ESO, in my personal opinion. and I'm not hating on the game. I actually still play it, and that's mainly for PvP. If there's a reason for me to go back to WoW, it would be for the PvP. And ESO is the next closest thing to that, and it's free. Props to ESO on the questing and the voice acting and all of that, and the immersive atmosphere and the beautiful graphics. 100% on board with that. But it doesn't keep me engaged. At in-game, it really doesn't feel like an MMO that I'm looking for. We played Final Fantasy XIV for a minute, but it's the same thing. I'm not going to waste any time here. It's a beautiful game. It's a WoW clone, another WoW skin. You know, it's fun to play, but it's the same thing at max level. You know, rinse and repeat. And then there's Guild Wars 2, which a lot of people from the old school MMO scene, I guess you could say, recommended. You know, like, this is it, man. I remember playing EverQuest when Guild Wars 1 came out, and I remember being in EverQuest, and on my server they were having Guild Wars, and I thought that was kind of cool. So I never checked out Guild Wars 1. And then I saw this ranting and raving about Guild Wars 2 is where it's at. And it is one of my favorite games to quest in, because it doesn't feel like questing. It's got a really good system to keep you busy and making you feel accomplished. The combat system is great. There's a lot of customization in the game too, just like in ESO. But once again, once you get that max level, it is the same... It's the same thing. And then there's Terra. Like, I don't even know where to start with this game. The most non-immersive MMO of all time, I would say, and I'm sticking to that. You can hate on me all you want. That game is just complete. I'm gonna go ahead and just break it down. You know, with Terra, you have BDO, you have Blade and Soul. Once you played one Korean game, you played them all. Am I right? I met a guy in Terra. That sounded funny. It's almost like I knew he was an EQ player, because we were at the bottom of a ramp, right? And we were pulling the mobs to the ramp, almost like an old school MMO. And then we got to talking, and he was telling me that he's looking for that itch he's trying to scratch ever since he played EverQuest back in 1999. Boom. Instant friend, and that is the only good experience I have from Terra. I can't handle all these people driving up in their taxi or cop car mounts, and I can handle the naked women. That's okay. But other than that, I mean, I don't know what to say. What else did we play? SkyForge. I'm going to do a shameless plug here. I made a whole entire video on this game. Check it out in the description below. I made a whole rant on it. Just, not good. Not good. So if you see the pattern here, guys, all these MMOs, none of them have come up with a new way of going about their game. It's all about getting to that end game. It's all cookie cutter. Everybody has that same piece of gear. You know, in old school MMOs, when you saw someone with a specific weapon, you knew what that weapon was. You know what they had to do. You know how long they worked for it. You know what quests they had to do, what have you. I believe it used to be that way back in vanilla WoW. I didn't play WoW till the end of Burning Crusade. Every modern MMO that has come out uses the same build, the same concept, the same direction. Yeah, there's a patch that comes out where you have to do dailies, or yeah, there's a patch that comes out where you get to unlock this quest or to unlock the next part, but then once you get to that part, it's the same thing. It's just a rinse and repeat cycle. Give it time, and then WoW's going to implement that into their game. I guess there's nothing wrong with that. I don't know. I'm not a game designer. I'm just a little dude giving my opinions on things. And speaking of opinions, Pantheon Rise of the Fallen, that's where it's all about in my book. I mean, if you look at the game design, if you go to PantheonMMO.com, if you look at the Pantheon difference page at the very bottom of the screen, you will see all these new things that they're adding, okay? The game is in pre-alpha 5 as we speak, But the things that they're coming out with has got me really passionate, really pumped, really hyped, and I can't help. I try to make a serious video about Pantheon and I just get hyped, okay? That's just who I am. That's how I'm going to be. And the reason is because it's going to be about that journey to max level. You have the NPC behavioral system. You have the progeny system, you have all this stuff, and it's gonna be hardcore to get to max level. I'm just assuming. I can't say this for a fact. Pantheon is not out, but I'm supporting it because of its values, because of the developers, because of the community that's building. But with Pantheon, there's gonna be, I think there's gonna be, my prediction, there's going to be a good balance on being able to log in and get stuff done, but still having that that feeling of accomplishment, that feeling of adventure, that feeling of making new friends, that feeling of going out there into a world and not knowing what this is over here with the perception system. Are you kidding me? Dude! So all bets are on the table for Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. Will it disappoint? I don't think so. I think Pantheon is the game that we have been wanting. If you've seen our previous videos, I mean, it's all about community. Community matters, right? That's Pantheon's whole thing. And that is an awesome thing, because it's not an MMO if you're not out there making friends, if you're not out there exploring and seeing the world as you level, as you continue your progression. But I really think that from all the things that we've seen, from the streamers to the producers to the newsletters that we're getting to the content to the stuff that we know that they're working on, because again, I can't stress this enough in each video. Pre-alpha, we're on pre-alpha 5. I believe that Pantheon is going to break the mold. They're going to bring it back to the old school roots. I'm excited for it. I hope you are too. If you have not pledged, go to pantheonmmo.com, and I urge you to pledge. This is not vaporware, guys. This is a real thing. Pantheon is going to be that MMO. It's going to be that fix. It's going to be that thing that you're going to play for years and years and years to come. My point is, if you've been looking for the next MMO to fill that need, to scratch that itch, to fill the void, Pantheon is probably the game you're looking for. So that's all I have today, guys, and I'm sure some of you guys are in the same predicament that we are, looking for the next MMO. I believe Pantheon will be that MMO, but be sure to like this video, dislike this video, leave us some hate, love, or feedback, and be on the lookout for Battle Axe Live coming up, where we have an open discussion format, and it's going to be live and raw. It's coming out here in the near future. Other than that, we'll see you guys next week.